Did Mayor Cantrell try to destroy your reputation?
I think she did a good job at it.
For more than a year, New Orleans residents have been frustrated by trash piling up along the city streets.
And with the stench that's going on around the neighborhood, you can't hardly sit outside.
It stinks. It's filthy.
Unreliable garbage collection, inconsistent schedules. Metro disposal owner Jimmy Wood says the city has handcuffed its trash collectors.
I would say that the garbage crisis was created by the administration.
A review of hundreds of pages of invoices and documents reveals the city might have shortchanged its garbage contractors millions of dollars in revenue the companies were owed. Documents related to the contract show the city would pay Metro for every house it picked up trash. The initial document estimated it at just over 65,000 homes. Those records show Metro billed for 66,000 homes every month, even though the company picked up trash from more than 70,000. Metro noted on many invoices it picked up from more homes, but the city refused to pay, costing the company about $1 million a year. Calls to the mayor to try to get paid properly went unanswered. Henry Consulting found the city owed Metro an extra $900,000 a year.
And the city ignored that report.
Late last year, the city moved on from Metro and hired 2 new trash collectors as a replacement, Waste Pro and Ivy Waste. It decided to pay those new companies for all of the homes it collects from, more than 70,000, and will do a recount of homes in 6 months, something it would never do for Metro. It essentially is paying those companies for the homes it refused to pay Metro for.
This administration is working overtime to not only destroy my family name and my business.
Wood says the city also destroyed his business by refusing to pay for the extra trash coming from homes during COVID and following Hurricane Ida. During COVID, with everyone at home, trash tonnage surged. But the documents related to the Metro contract have an emergency clause to take something like that into consideration. For Metro, 6,495 tons was the pre-established baseline. When the city goes over that during a declared emergency, Metro is allowed to charge an additional $250 a ton. So 7,000 tons in 1 month would net Metro an additional $126,000 if the city followed this clause of the contract. Here's the documents where the city declared an emergency for COVID and Ida, but the city refused to pay Metro and its other trash collector, Richards, any additional money. Month after month, Metro collected more than 6,500 tons of trash. The city wouldn't pay, by our calculation costing Metro nearly $7 million. We found many other cities and parishes paid garbage collectors extra money during COVID. $43 for every additional ton in Slidell, $125 in Terrebonne, an extra $2.50 per house per month in St. Tammany. New Orleans, nothing. Even though federal dollars were available to cover the extra cost, it wouldn't have cost the city a dime. In fact, the Bureau of Governmental Research and former Congressman and White House advisor Cedric Richmond both say the city still has $194 million in COVID relief funds it hasn't spent. Again, the city had access to federal funds, but the city didn't tap into it. Wood says the city's refusal to pay him for all of the homes he serviced and not paying him extra during COVID and Ida bankrupted his company. He filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in October of last year. Instead, the city hired new collectors. Under the new contract, residents are paying more for less. $13.60 for twice a week in recycling has turned into about $22 a home for once a week pickup. So a contract worth about $11 million a year is now costing taxpayers $19 million. Woods thinks this all could be political. He was a strong supporter of Cantrell's opponent in her first mayoral election, Desiree Charbonnet. The owner of the other holdover trash collector, Richards, also gave money to Charbonnet. Cantrell inherited both of these contracts from the former mayor, Mitch Landrieu. Landrieu has been locked in a legal dispute with the city. The city reached a settlement with the company, agreeing to pay nearly $4 million. $4 million in tax money, essentially agreeing it owed Metro for past service. He sent the city an email asking why it didn't use federal money available to offset the company's extra tonnage, and why it paid Metro for fewer houses than it collected trash from. The city never responded.
Anybody who's lived in Metro service area over the past year or looked in from the outside could tell you that clearly the services that residents deserve are not being provided.
The city also declined our request for an on-camera interview. But Jimmy Woods says that is relevant, and the city's stance will cost taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. He says it could have also saved New Orleanians the headaches and frustrations they have suffered due to piles of unwanted trash.
As we noted, Richards Disposal operates under the same contract guidelines as Metro. After first threatening to advertise Richards' contract for competition, the city has apparently now taken a softer stance. The Cantrell administration is now restructuring the Richards contract, working on what it calls a get-well package for the company. Jimmy Woods of Metro says this is further indication that the city underpaid him and didn't interpret his contract properly.